Hi friends, sorry I just saw it turned off. That hydroponic garden will hold 6, and we'll just see how that goes. I have the grow lights, I've gotten everything that I need. I'd already had one, so by the grace of God I'd already been kind of preparing for this, and we have been reading about hydroponic for years. For years my husband we even talked about doing like a hydro fish, like a, I don't know, you grow fish or something outside. I don't know. Anyways, and because we have pastures that are not used anymore. And so, anyways, glad we're not doing that, to be honest. But, and I think it's great. Anybody who eats fish, I totally get it. I eat a little bit of shrimp, and I did have a little bit of lobster. So, and, and for Passover, we will have, this is one more question I'll try to answer. What are we doing for Passover? Passover began last night, so we had a prayer together before our dinner, and then we talked about it, and we, of course, reminded our other children, and we will have this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday we will have a Good Friday dinner. We will begin, this is our habit every year for, I don't know how many times we have done this, but we will begin watching the 10 Commandments until we get to Sunday. My husband, every year, would be on TV before we had DVDs and VHSs, which, have been around forever. But anyways, we do have the DVD now, and we watch the extras. I mean, he wants to watch the whole thing. And so we watch the 10 Commandments, and he won't, okay, well, that's enough for today. We have to save some for tomorrow. He's that way at Christmas too. We've opened enough gifts for now. We'll open some more tomorrow. I'm like, no. I mean, our kids hated that. But anyway, and me too, because it just leaves kind of a mess out. But that's who he is, and I appreciate that. But, so we will then have that. And then on the 12th, we will have a Resurrection Sunday meal. And I will have a faux stuffed turkey. And I have some green beans. And I'm going to make Italian green beans, which is nothing more than fresh green beans cooked, and you do it with canned too, cooked with garlic, and I like fresh garlic if you have it, and then any of your tomatoes that are about to go. Don't throw them out. Either put them in a soup or put them in that, and I just cut them in half, and then, because I have the little ones, and I cut those in half, the ones I'm going to use for this week, and they will be our Resurrection Sunday meal. And I actually got some rolls from the grocery store. Couldn't believe it. So I got some croissants, and for breakfast I'll do like a cheese fruit roll-up. I put a little bit of cheese and fruit, probably a lot less cheese now, but in the past I would put cheese and fruit, and instead of rolling them I would roll them around, just encase them and put them in, and they'd be these little bread balls with yumminess on the inside. And some of the fruit that I would use like my cran raisins that were about to go bad. I would soak them in a little bit of water while I was working with everything, and then add them together, and, I would just barely moisten them. And then I would also use, like, jam. You could use, like, blueberry jam or fruit jam, or you could cut up fruit and put in it. When your apples get a little mealy, you can put that in there, and it tastes fantastic. And you don't waste your apples. So, because they're not cooking that long. It's not like an apple pie. So anyways, it's kind of a special treat, and because we got eggs and that, it was amazing. I will boil us 3 eggs to go with our meal, and I will, boil them, peel them, and cut them in half and make stuffed eggs. And with that, our stuffed eggs consist of a little bit of onion. My youngest daughter hates onion, so I won't put it in there. I use mustard instead of mayonnaise. I put mustard and salt and pepper, and then I just mash it all up, make it pretty and fluffy, and then put it back in and stuff it up, and then that's what we have for our stuffed eggs. So that would be our little appetizer for Easter, or Easter Sunday, or Resurrection Sunday, whatever you call it in your house. So that's our plans. It is very simple. Oh, and with the rolls for breakfast, I have a little bit of fruit. We have some bananas about to go out. And so probably what I'll do today, I don't know. I'm trying to decide if I want to make, usually it's hard, if you freeze bananas to make smoothies, after a while they start going bad. Well, what you can do is blend them or put them in a smoothie. It doesn't matter. If they start going brown, they're still okay. If they're black, and I'm talking about peeled bananas. Because when I freeze mine, I cut them in half and put them in a bag, and I only put so many in a bag. And I will either put those in a smoothie, or I will make like a faux ice cream. Because they're not bright yellow right now, I'll blend those up, and they'll have ice in them, and I can add blueberries that will color them, and nobody will be the wiser. So they'll get banana blueberry ice cream, I call it, like, frozen ice cream, and then they'll get the little breakfast rolls. So, and we really don't eat lunch, so we eat brunch, and yeah, I mean, that's how I'm able to for us not to go crazy. And then for the afternoon, or each evening, I have popcorn that I have put up, and so we'll each have some air pop popcorn with a little bit of nutritional yeast and Himalayan sea salt. And the way you get it to stick is you have like you can mist oil if you like that, or you can mist water, just a little. Don't soak it because it'll be gross, but just a little tiny mist of water, and just stir it real quick, and it'll stick. So when it dries, it'll stick to it. So that is our weekend plan. My husband is off Friday and Monday, and it just dawned on me, I was like, well, why would you be off? Because, and then I realized, well, no, they still have to, because their company is unionized, because they're car makers, even IT has to take off. So anyways, and I don't know if we're going to rain all weekend, so I don't know. But my goal this weekend, God willing, is to get that armoire finished and get my breath, then hopefully get my seedlings started. And that's my first goal. And then my second goal will be I'm still working on this room. I'm not done yet. My next goal will be to find things throughout the house. So we're taking inventory, because my grinder had given to my daughter to use, and then she had given it away because she didn't need it, and it was just like, what else have I done that with? So I was even asking my daughter, because I really want this really nice food dehydrator that I've wanted all these years, and we don't have the money for it right now, but I was trying to think if I scrounged and found a used one and all that kind of good stuff, and then I asked my daughter, well, do we still have our dehydrator? And she was like, oh yeah, it's right, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, then there we go. That's great. We'll use what we have. And we are so thankful for everything we have. So, but we'll do some fruit leathers and things like that. And the other thing to do with your oranges, sorry, this is one more little tip, that as I've been researching all this while I was sick, I watched a lot of videos on YouTube. And a lot of this we knew from years ago, is if you take your oranges and you cut them in thin rings, just thin rings, and you dehydrate them, and with the skin on, if it's organic, if it's not, you could cut the skin off after you dehydrate it, but I'm sure it's better with the skin, if you can get organic, and you blend them up in your blender, if you have a high-speed blender, and you get a vitamin C powder. So it's like taking a vitamin C. You can have oranges. So, and I was telling my son that, and he goes, oh no, we're fine, we have plenty of supplements. I said, but if for any reason someday you can't get your supplements because we have some that are not going to make it to us, this is just a great, easy tip. So, anyways, I'll be writing my story on my Healthy Living 4 him.wordpress.com blog. I've written it. I'm going to, clean it up, go back edit it this weekend, which I don't know how much I'm going to edit, but anyways. And then I will also be posting some of the things that I'll be doing to help prepare our home for now and in the future. And honestly, I think when we went through that period of we lost my parents, my husband came in last night and he goes, hey man, I've lost weight. And I said, really? You're not sick, are you? Because that's how I lost weight. And he said, no, you know what's happening? We're not eating pizza all the time. And I said, you're 100% right. Oh, my treat for Friday night is we have 2 cauliflower crust pizzas in the freezer. My husband's been wanting them. And I said, nope. We have to save them. So we're going to have those. And we still have some more cauliflower crust. But anyways, but He was like, yeah, we're not eating pizza all the time. And I said, you know, you're right. We aren't. And you're right. It's funny when you don't have it. I said, I did see a couple of commercials and it did make me hungry for it. I'm not going to lie. But it's good when you don't have it. He said, yeah, it is good. So, you know, we'll just get healthier, right? Okay, friends. Continue in prayer. You are all in my prayers. I wake up praying for so many of you by name. I'm starting to get through some of the comments. Be patient with me. I just get really tired. I've spent all morning on the phone dealing with extended and kind of the extended family. And we have one of my all-time favorite family members has gone into the hospital with COVID and pneumonia. And I couldn't sleep last night. I was up when I got the message. I had to rebuild my phone yesterday, and I got the message at midnight last night. So I answered the person who reached out. And anyways, just remember everybody who's sick right now. Please remember all the hospital workers. One of my family members who works in a hospital, and this has been her career, she's getting ready to retire. She was telling me today, yeah, I can't go into work because we're not doing what I do. And I said, oh, I got it. So, and tempers are high right now. It just seems that everybody, we just need to take a deep breath. And when I went through what I went through, that was a comment I made, is that everybody needs to slow down, read it 2, maybe 3 times before you get upset if something's sent in text, because you cannot read tone and tenor in an email or text. Leave a voicemail or call if you can, if it's that important. And everybody just have grace. That is something right now that, and as I say this to you, all these fingers are pointing back to me, okay? And if I could make it go like that and only do that, you know, I would. So I'm not just saying this to you, I'm saying it to me as well. It is a difficult period here in our history and throughout the world. And God is in control. And that I know. I mean, when you read what I wrote, you will know that in the wee hours of the morning when I was so ill, I knew who was with me. I didn't want to scare my husband or daughter, so I made a point to be careful and not say a whole lot until after. And it's his right now. There's nothing any of us can figure out. I mean, the scientists are working like crazy on this. Pray for them. Pray for the leadership of our throughout the world, of all of our nations. Pray for the hospitals, the first responders, for the people who are bringing groceries. And I finally told my son that I figured out, and my sister this morning, was that, you know why I'm getting to have an order? Because they only have so much time that they can pack each order. And she said, oh, that makes sense. And my son was like, no, that makes sense. And I said, so they're literally packing what they see as the most important, because as soon as they brought it, I got back on, looked at my list, looked to load a cart, because I thought, well, I'll load another cart, I'll get it in a week or 2. And anyways, but because my son and daughter-in-law are ordering and they're coming to our house, I don't want to cut into their cart at all. So we're not doing anything, we're fine. And yeah. You know, we got milk and eggs. How amazing is that? And the only reason we don't drink cow's milk, we drink plant milk, but plant-based yogurt, I don't like it to begin with. And number 2, I don't really, I don't want to take a chance and have it spoil. And we are using our almond milk like we've never done before. And yeah, so I'm going to try. I've made yogurt for years, so it's not a problem. But I have a new thing I bought right at Christmas, so I'm going to try it. It's something that fits over the jug. And, yeah. So I'm going to make yogurt and yogurt cheese and things like that. And, yeah, I mean, we just have to think through what is it that we have to have, or what is it that, if I can't get groceries for the next 2 months, is it something that I have to have, like baking powder or, you know, flour or sugar, or what is it? What is it that you have to have? And yes, I ordered refrigerator rolls, and I didn't have to have those. I just did it because of the holiday, and that's going to be our big treat. You know, it's going to be our, like, wow, look at what we get to have that, and we get to have pizza on that Friday night. And then we go back to all the homemade stuff. And, You know what? Sometimes it's better. I don't think I'll ever buy tortillas again. Homemade tortillas are so easy and so yummy. Why would I buy them? You know? And they're so cheap. I mean, goodness gracious. I made tortillas like a full bag for maybe like 10 cents at the most. I mean, it was fantastic. And yeah, so there are things that we can work with. And like my next thing to start is a sourdough starter. And I've got to get that going over the weekend or early next week. You know, things like that. We're focused on fermenting food. Whatever we have left, by the end of the month, I'll have some equipment coming. Lord willing, it'll be here so I can ferment food. And if not, we'll do it the old way, like in a crock. And I think I have a crock downstairs. We'll have to see. But I may have given it to one of my kiddos. We'll see. We'll see. But, I mean, there's just things that we can learn to do again. And we have to be praying for all those delivery people. The delivery man from the grocery store yesterday told me that it was down to he and one other person. And I said, well, there was another gal a couple of weeks ago, and she came twice. And he goes, well, maybe there's 3 of us. And when I walked away, I realized, or maybe she had to not come to work. I don't know. So just be in prayer. These guys are right out there. And we just want them to be safe and for everybody else to be safe, you know? Okay, friends, I know it's going to be hard this Easter for people not to get together. I live in a state where people come up from Mexico and they come for Easter Sunday services and Easter weekend, and then they come further up here because of the outlet malls, and it has been a way of life, for the last 25 years I've noticed. And there are a lot of people that aren't going to get to have their big family gatherings, and, you know, we aren't. So please stay home. Love your family enough to not go and potentially either catch something or take something to them. And I've heard the argument, well, I've quarantined for 2 weeks, but every time a delivery driver drops something off and you handle it, you know, if you're not super, super, super careful, something can happen. And the last thing you want to do is give somebody COVID. And, yeah. Listening to my sister describe, guys, really be safe, okay? I don't need to say anything more. Just be safe. Your family loves you, your friends love you, and they need you. You are important, and God loves you. He has a plan for your life. So be safe, and be safe for others as well. Okay, now, come on back. I'm going to start my other planning, and then I've got some other fun projects to share with you. Okay, friends, most importantly, I pray your day is blessed, creative, and lovely. Sorry this was a 2-parter. It's hard for me to talk this long, and I just keep running on. Maybe it's because I'm so quiet all the other time. I just love you guys. I miss you guys, and I love your messages. I can't thank you enough for them. All right, guys, I'll be talking to you soon. God loves you very much. All right, love you. Bye-bye.